Hello and welcome back to my kitchen. It's been a wee while since the last one, so I'm excited to be back sharing another recipe with you all. So today I'm going to be I'm changing the name a little bit. So there's this dish, this Iraqi soup that we have called kubba حامض شلغم that I grew up eating, that my mum used to make all the time. And it's basically this like white, or I would have it white. I've seen people make like a red tomatoey version, but it's like this white soup with turnips and rice and chickpeas and Swiss chard, this lovely green vegetable here. And normally it would have kubba in it, hence the name kubba حامض شلغم. But of course I don't eat kubba, and I considered maybe doing like a different version of kubba, but to be honest, my mom's made this a bunch of times for me just without the kubba, and I feel like it's hearty enough and delicious enough without. So that's what I'm going to be making today, so hence the change in name. I'm calling it شوربة حامض شلغم, which basically just means lemon turnip soup, right? Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. I don't think I need to say much more. Do I need to say anything more? No? So let's get into the recipe. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, lovely people, I'm just switching over to a wee voiceover now to talk you through what I'm going to do basically. So I'm just showing you the lovely vegetables that I'm going to be using. So I've got some Swiss chard, some chickpeas, rice, lemon, and of course turnip, the star of the show. We're not going to be using quite that much lemon, I just thought that it all looked really beautiful. Anyway, I'm just starting off by chopping up one onion, just kind of finely-ish chopping it, of course, like I always say. It doesn't need to be perfect, but yeah, I'm just kind of finely chopping that onion. And then moving on to the turnips, I'm just gonna what's this called again? Peel them. I'm just gonna peel them, remove the skins, and then, as you saw, I took off that little tail as well. And then I'm just kind of halving and then quartering them. So these kind of pieces. If you don't know Loyal Carner, he's a really sick hip-hop artist, so definitely check him out. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, as you saw, I just kind of halved and then quartered those turnips. And then to cook everything, I've just got this big pot on high heat, and I added about 2 to 3 tablespoons of oil, and I just added in my onion, and I'm just kind of sauteing that. I probably sauteed that for about 5 minutes or so, just until it was kind of cooked down and translucent. And then I'm gonna add in my turnips here. So of course I'm using quite a lot because I made, kind of a big batch here. But as always, the full written recipe is going to be down in the description, so don't worry if you miss anything or if you're unsure about the quantities. It's all going to be written down there. So yeah, I'm just going to give my onions and turnips a wee mix, and then I'm going to cook them together for about 10 minutes or so before adding in the chard, just to get them cooking. I don't know why I felt the need to explain why I'm cooking the turnips, but anyway, so sorry about the awkward angle here, but I'm just slicing up my chard. You don't need to remove all of that kind of white bit. I'm just taking off a little bit of the end, and then I'm just kind of finely slicing it like so. And then I'm gonna add that on top of the turnip, obviously, but I'm not going to mix it through quite just yet. I'm just going to kind of let it sit on top of the turnip and onion with the lid on for about 10 minutes or so, just to kind of let it wilt down. It just makes it a little bit easier to mix everything together. And of course, it's a big leafy green, so it's one of those things where it looks like loads, but it's all going to wilt down. So yeah, it's nice to use a big bunch of greens in here. So yeah, this was after about 10 minutes or so. Obviously got a little bit steamy, and then I'm just giving everything a little mix here. And then at this point I'm adding in my rice. I've just given the rice a little rinse. I just rinsed the rice a little bit, and now I'm adding it in. This looks like a small quantity of rice, but to be honest, even just a small little bit adds a really nice kind of heartiness to the soup. But of course, if you want it to be even more filling, or if you want more starch in there, you could always add some more. But yeah, at this point I'm just adding in my seasoning. So of course I've got a good bit of salt here, some cracked black pepper. I personally love a lot of pepper in this soup, so I'd recommend just going for it with the cracked black pepper. And then I added in just a wee tiny bit of turmeric. It's just a 1/4 teaspoon or so. My mum says it's for the colour, but to be honest it's such a small amount that it doesn't do much for the flavour, so it's definitely an optional ingredient. You don't need to add it in there if you don't want to. And then I'm adding in my water. I just boiled a whole bunch of water here, and I added about 6 to 7 cups of hot water at this point. And then I'm just giving, of course, again, everything a wee mix. And then I'm basically just going to let this come to a boil. And I left the lid on, let it boil for about 20 minutes or so, just until the turnip was nice and softened. And then I added in my chickpeas. I just had a whole bunch of chickpeas that I had just cooked prior to this, but of course you could use a can if you prefer, or if it's easier or whatever. But yeah, I like a good bit of chickpeas in this, so I added probably about a cup and a half or so. Yeah, and then I'll just give it another little mix. And then I ended up covering it back up with the lid, and just left it to simmer for just a further 10 minutes or so, just to kind of let it finish off cooking. And then after that it was pretty much done. I just had to add in my lemon juice, you know, tasted for seasoning and adjusted to my liking, which you should do the same with your cooking. That's my advice, that's my cooking advice: taste and adjust to your liking. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Back to me in just a wee second. Just press it, I don't know what to call this, rolling the lemon a little bit, just to get the juices come out easier this way. I don't know, I saw it on some cooking video or show or something once. Okay, that's pretty softened. I've given the soup a little taste. It's perfect pretty much. I'm just gonna squeeze this one lemon, and I might add some extra black pepper as well, actually, just because a good cracking of black pepper is really nice in this. Okay, I'll just give this a little mix. So good. The shulgum is so good. Okay, so as you saw, that was super simple and easy to make, and it has turned out really delicious. A little bit too lemony for my mum's liking, so like I said before, maybe just start with a half and see how you like it. But yeah, super delicious. This is like, we were just saying, me and mom, that this is like the perfect kind of winter soup, perfect for an icy January day like today. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Definitely let me know if you try it, and please do, because it's really tasty. And yeah, take care. See you in the next one. Bye.
Hello and welcome back to